I did have a meeting this morning with the HR director and with the principal again this morning. They checked me out on Facebook before, so they've been watching me and what I'm doing, and the feeling that I'm getting from them is, and I'm trying to be positive with it, I think, because I'm really disappointed in the actions of the teacher. But it's almost like the district wants to do what's right, but they're stuck with policy. They want to say, this is what we should be doing. We should be standing for the pledge. And they can't. They can't say it because of policy.
What policy?
Whose policy?
The policy of the district, and I believe even of the state, is you can't force others to stand for the pledge. I'm good with that. We're following policy, right? My concern is, and my outrage with it is, we have to stand for the pledge so that we can have these meetings, so we can disagree with something we find so atrocious, that we have the freedom to disagree and stand up for the freedom we need to protect. So
I would allow that they have that freedom. The thing that concerns me was that not only was she ridiculed by students, the teacher did nothing to stop the ridicule. That's what needs to be addressed.
the day that happened was last week, Wednesday. Beth was the only one that stood up, and she was looking for the flag. She couldn't find it. It had been moved, apparently, from what I was told the night before, or the weekend before, by another group that was using it. They share the school with other churches that come in and use it. So the flag had been moved. So she was looking for it, trying to say the pledge. Other kids began to laugh, and the teacher laughed. When she looked at him, he put his head down and looked away. He was caught being disrespectful. And it's a situation that is sacred to many of us. So,
my question is, they don't want our flag. They shouldn't need our tax dollars, should they?
Yep.
Yeah. What about the statement, how early it came out before they even talked to you?
Oh yeah, that same day, that night I sent an email. Some of you probably got the email from Greg as well. That night I sent it to the school district, or to the principal. And it was probably by lunch they had that statement out. But it was because of the outcry from you guys, from the public, from patriots, that caused them to take such action. Because had there not been such an outcry, I don't think they would have taken this type of action. And still, even this morning, they were almost complaining to me, saying, don't you want us to do our job? We're being bombarded with phone calls and emails. You pay you pay my salary. Why don't you let me do my job?
So they're still being bombarded?
Oh yeah. The teacher had to change his email address.
Poor baby.
Have there been any other incidents that Beth would know of, whereby the teacher has demonstrated lack of patriotism or disrespect, or is this the first time?
He typically doesn't stand for the pledge.
That's disrespectful.
Right. He typically doesn't, and he talks and tells the students why he doesn't, which he doesn't feel that he should be worshiping a flag, is his feeling, which impacts other students from standing for the pledge.
Yeah, I was so enraged, when I heard this, but my philosophy is that you should teach kids how to think, not what to think. And he's an unpatriotic teacher, and he's got to go.
Yep.
Feathers and a rail
Now, apparently, I'm kind of lacking in some information here. What district or what school is this?
This is from Maricopa, the town of Maricopa, and it's
Okay.
Maricopa High School.
Oh, okay. I do know here in Mesa, I don't know about all the schools, but I will tell you Franklin is very good in regards to showing patriotism to the flag.
There are many schools, and I could name some of them. Pathway in Maricopa as well, and Legacy also is a school that's very patriotic, and just you know, in most of your elementary schools, you'll find that every single kid does stand for the pledge, and the teachers are really good about it. So.
Did you ever look and see where this policy came from?
The district did show me the policy that they can't.
Where
right.
did they get it from? How did they come to the conclusion that they don't?
They would have, the school board would put together that policy, or maybe they were following state mandate or something there.
I don't know. I think somebody needs to get into the bottom of that part.
The good thing is, and I'm trying to look at the positive of this. The principal in the first meeting I had with her said, "Out of the voice of babes, great things happen." Here's my babe. Okay, here's the baby. And the district is taking, unfortunately, action only after they've been bombarded by so much outcry and patriotism from other people, that the human resource director said, we're looking into our policy, we're getting interest groups together. They've already contacted, the district has told me they've already contacted VFW to try and come in to present more patriotism. So I'm looking at the positive. If you need to get that much outcry from the community to finally start looking at your patriotism at your school. A couple other things real quick that I kind of learned today. When they have sporting events at their track and field meets, there's no flag. They have the national anthem, there's no flag. From what I understand, their basketball events may not have a flag. And the players are busy moving around during the pledge. So there's an overall acceptance that at times it's not okay to be patriotic. I don't think that's acceptable.
Well, you probably already have heard this, but we want to organize a event at the school. And we want to, you know, Al Sharpton style event. So if you guys, you know, if you just say the word, we can get this going.
I know. And
we can get this on YouTube. It needs to get out there.
Let's do that.
I think Karen is right, and I think we need to, now is the time to turn up the pressure instead of backing away from this, because what I'm hearing from you is that the school board is trying to make this go away by kind of appeasing you and acting like they're actually doing something, but there's no guarantee there will be a result. Right. So we need to escalate the public outcry, and I believe we need to do some kind of demonstration at the school during school hours outside. And we got some other great ideas, but I'll throw one more at you, that we need to definitely go to the next school board meeting, whatever that is.
A week from Wednesday.
Week from Wednesday, you guys mark your calendars. I'll be there.
Week from tomorrow.
It's the second and fourth Wednesdays of the month, I believe.
Okay, and I will be there to film if you guys show up, and we will give them a piece of our mind.
I'll be there.
Thank you.
Is it?
Let me check. Traditionally, they're at 7 o'clock. Traditionally, so.
Yeah, and I'll get it out on an email this week.
Ask you one question. You mentioned that you can't make the students stand up. Who's to say you can't make the teachers stand up?
And I think that's part of what the district is looking at. What would be the mandate? I'm thinking, in my mind, and this is just, I think many of you would agree with me. Whether you, the teacher, is fully patriotic, as a leader in that classroom, you stand up.
That's right.
You stand up.
I'd like to interject real quickly. What we're saying here is going to leave this room. So, if you have something to say, I want it to be said on the microphone so it'll be said nice and clear, because this is going out all over the country. Just want to let you know that. So before you speak, let me give you the microphone.
Even though the state doesn't require a person to stand, why do they require a person to sit? Where's that? I don't know.
You troublemaker. Runs in the family, I guess.
I think the one in the back was first.
Aside from the fact that he was disrespectful to the flag and you know, doesn't encourage the kids to stand, nor does he did he ever apologize to your daughter for letting the class and he laugh at her?
In his defense, I'll say no, he hasn't, because I've almost requested him not to. He tried to, knowing, in my mind, knowing that he messed up and was disrespectful, he tried to talk to Beth about it. Being very emotional, didn't talk with him, and then he tried to take her to the counselor to talk about it. And I said, I'm not going to have that. You're not taking my daughter into a room with a counselor, an adult, and try and bully her, because that's typical what they end up doing. So I wasn't going to allow that to happen. So no, officially he has not.
I worked in education for 23 years, and we had children who were Jehovah's Witness. Even though they didn't pledge the flag, they stood respectful.
I'm just remembering as I was a kid that there may have been one or two, and I don't remember that we made fun of them. It was kind of different because everyone stands for the pledge. And that was the religious freedom. That's why we stand, so they have that religious freedom, right? That's why we do it. But that's not the case with this teacher. That's not the case. When my daughter is the only person in the class standing.
I spent 3 years teaching junior ROTC and had students that would not stand. And I reminded the rest of the students that the reason we fought veterans for 200 years is that to give them that right of expression. The issue here is that as a teacher, as this lady so eloquently said, he is there to teach them how to think, not what to think. And he is to protect each and every one of those students from ridicule. And that's what he didn't do. If he wants to be disrespectful, he has that right. I'll talk to him out in the parking lot. But we can't go in there and belittle the school district for following what is national mandate. But we can tell the school district that that teacher needs to be reprimanded for not protecting the young lady from emotional distress and for trying to put his personal values onto his students. That'll get a teacher fired anywhere. If you try to put Christian values on a student, you'll get a week's suspension right away.
The principal, the vice principal, did go through an interview about 15 kids in the class that day, and they claimed that none of the kids had mentioned anything about laughing. Which, if you want to take that a roundabout way, does that mean Beth was lying? Is that what they were trying to say? Today there was a student from her class that came up to her and said they were laughing, and the teacher was laughing. They were laughing.
Thank you, Jason. So what do you think of, Beth, what do you think about the big stink we've all been making about it? You like it? So the way this got started was Thursday night he posted on his Facebook page, he said, so if your kids go to school at Maricopa High, do they stand for the pledge? I think you might be surprised. My daughter is the only one in her class to stand, and the teacher joined in with the class to mock her about it. I am so angry right now. He talked about, and later on he was getting mad, and I told him, I said, if you want backup when you go to school, I'll get a bunch of veterans to go with you. I was thinking of you, Gordon, and your friends. And then he talked about being more upset about it. So later on, I said, if you get the okay, I'll get tons of people to call tomorrow. He says, I'm good with it. Give me the phone number. And then from that, I sent the email out that night, and this is what happened. Gordon, you said your son called, right? And where's he live? Battle Creek, Michigan. So, and I've had several people tell me they've emailed it all over the country. So, and Jason told me today they're just getting bombarded. Did she ask you to please stop or something like that?
He said, please let us try and fix this. They're getting hit really hard.
Good. So Jason and I were talking. I actually spoke to Russell Pierce about this, and he said, yeah, it's state law about saying the pledge. And this is Arizona law right here. And it's Title 15 in Education, Section 15-506. It says, school districts and charter schools shall acquire United States flags that are manufactured in the United States and that are at least 2 feet by 3 feet and hardware to appropriately display the United States flag. For grades 7 through 12, acquire a legible copy of the Constitution of the United States and the Bill of Rights that is manufactured in the United States. Display the flags in accordance with Title IV of the United States Code in each classroom and on or near the outside of the school building during school hours and at such times as the school authorities direct. For grades 7 through 12, place a legible copy of the Constitution of the United States and the Bill of Rights adjacent to each classroom flag. Do you have a copy of those in your room, Beth? There's no copy in the room?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. So you can go to him tomorrow and say, state law is you have to have a copy of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Get it now or I'll report you. So, and then set aside a specific time each day for those students who wish to recite the Pledge of Allegiance to the United States flag. So that's state law. They're not saying everybody has to do it, but they have to provide an opportunity for the kids. They have to provide a flag, and they have to provide a copy of the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Yes?
Put that statute in your email.
Okay. Yeah, no problem.
Hey, Greg.
Yeah.
She built it.
What?
She had something.
What?
You need. Beth
You wanna
had something she'd like to show.
Come on.
Should we move? She's used to it.
Hi. I have to make a correction about what my dad said. I'm not the only one that stands up. There's another girl that stands up too, but she didn't stand that day that I did, so that made me a little bit mad. Anyways, so I just wanted to say why I stand for the pledge. I stand for the pledge because of what it means to me. It has this special place in my heart because of what my grandma taught me when I was little, to put my hand on my heart so that I can show my love for my country. So since then, the pledge and our country and the flag means so much to me. I stand and say the pledge because of the love I have for our country, and because I have freedom of religion, and because I love all the people that are fighting for our country, and for the people that have died for our country. And that is why I say the pledge.
Not too many dry A's out there, is there? Does that give us hope for our future? Yeah. Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Jason. All right. Now to move on. Shane is here tonight. So, usually we get down really fast on the nights he's here. So Shane is going to teach us the rest of the night about the Constitution. And we're going to do a little bit about asking candidates questions again. And Shane, will you come up and help me? As you know, Shane Krauser is a constitutional law professor at Glendale Community College and attorney. He also is the director of the American Academy for Constitutional Education. And we're very honored to have him teach us every month. There's something I wanted to do a little visual aid. And I guess I don't need two of us, but I'm going to use two of us anyways. Come here, Shane.
What's this? Oh, that's the Constitution.
Guys, in the next 2 weeks, we have 4 candidates coming for Congress. We have, next week we have Kirk Adams and Leah Schandelbauer. Kirk Adams running for the new District 5. Leah running in District 9, the new District 9. And then the week after that is Matt Salmon from District 5. And Martin Sepulveda from the new District 9. Something we've been working on that I've been stressing since December of 2009. Pretend there's a candidate back here and you're asking them questions. This is the filter, guys. This is what matters. Work on directing all of your questions through this. Know this so you can do that. Those candidates, one for sure I know I think is going to do a pretty good job if we ask a lot of constitutional questions. The other ones, I have no idea. But our freedom is at stake. I don't have to tell you guys that. Does anybody disagree with that? We're being attacked like crazy. And it's not from the outside, it's from the inside. And this is the answer. So we got to get candidates and congresspeople, senators, representatives, whatever it is, that know this. And so when you're going to frame your questions to a candidate over the next couple of weeks, please frame them as this is your filter. Especially Article 1. What sections, guys? 8, and what else? 9, because 9 tells them what they can't do. Right? So, think about that when we're asking questions the next 2 weeks, and now I'll turn the time over to Shane.
You guys ready to have some fun? Yeah. All right. Beth, I have to say something to you. You don't know me, but I want to say something to you. And I know that many of people that have heard me speak have heard me talk about this, but I think it's important for you to recognize who you really are, because America needs you. They need people like you with the courage that you embrace, with the spirit that you have, and the understanding that you have that this country is something special. And the flag embraces freedom that no other country has enjoyed it to this degree. And you understand this. There are 3 types of people in this world. There are the wolves, there are the sheep, and there are the sheepdogs. The wolves are those people that would deprive other individuals of their freedom. Right? They're people that seek after power. And then there's the sheep. The sheep are 99% of the individuals in this world. I don't know your teacher. I'm assuming some things. But I would venture to say your teacher is a sheep. You are a sheepdog. Right? A sheepdog is one that will stand for freedom, and even when the proposition is very lonely. You stood when it was lonely. Now, Mark Twain said once, being a patriot is a lonely proposition, because nobody wants to stand strong when the waves are coming at them rather aggressively. Right? But you're fighting for a cause, and people, when you win the cause, who eventually comes on board? The timid. The timid tend to follow the sheepdogs. But the battle has already been won, right? And so it's easy to be a patriot after the battle has already been won. You're fighting a battle here, right? In a very, very small way. You're fighting a battle that's going to explode, I believe. But one thing I want you to understand is that a sheepdog is really a rarity. And the sheep tend to not like the sheepdogs, right? Because you stand for something that's different. Because the sheep say, oh, don't ruffle any feathers. Just kind of go with the flow. Don't speak out. There's no need. Government will take care of you. What's this idea of freedom? Really saluting the flag? Is it that important? Right? Where the sheepdog says, no, I stand for something bigger and better. Right? I see a vision, and that vision is a freedom that we all stand for, that we all should stand for. And so my hope is that you continue to do the things that you've done, that you will stand strong in the face of adversity, that you will be an individual that has the passion of George Washington, that you will be the person that has the commitment of a James Madison, that you will be the individual that moves forward aggressively, like a Thomas Jefferson, that understands freedom. Because I'm convinced that just listening to your father and listening to you follow, you understand these very basic principles. And again, America needs you. I want to thank you personally for doing what you did, because there's not enough people out there doing what you do. Right? And so we're here to support you. Do you want to say anything else, Beth? This is great. Thank you so much, Greg, for having them and for coming out.